this kind of you use exaggerated language, you use exaggerated gestures, and then you apologise afterwards. But the point is, you've already, you know, François Fillon's words are exaggerated, and then you can kind of row back from that, but you've already let the cat out of the bag. And I think that's, you know, that's part of that's kind of the setup, not just as you mentioned the US, and it's happening in France and in Britain as well, that there is this, you know, we've kind of been pushed to extremes of language and behaviour that are not acceptable, but they seem to be, you know, ways of, it's a bit like this assistant to the Prime Minister talking about disability benefits in this country only for the very disabled, and then apologising for using that expression. But that seems to be the way it goes, that you go to the extreme and then you row back. But the point is, you've already put the extreme out there.
Is it because, Nicholas Vineker, and I know you've been reporting on the influence of social media on the campaign, is it because, well, you got to shout a little bit louder these days to be heard?
I think social media has had such an impact on how democracy works that we're unable to measure it for the time being. And we may measure it in 10 years or 20 years when we see how deeply this affected the functioning of our democracy. The thing about social media is that you can say what you want and you can't be held personally accountable for it. And supporters of all candidates, I'm not singling out any one, have used social media to say things that they would not themselves say with their name and with their face showing, to hide behind anonymity, to hide sometimes behind false profiles, all types of false behavior, and say things that would have been unacceptable before, and create the impression, often completely manufactured, of some kind of democratic rising on social media, when what we're talking about are really either paid volunteers or an organized system of I think it is, you know, on all sides, it has unleashed ugly instincts into public speech, and we're not able to quantify it or deal with it yet, but it is a fact of life now, yeah.